What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Indeed. It's the Independent Wrestling Podcast. I'm Mike Hamley, joined once again by my awesome co-host, Righteous Reg. And we're also joined this week by, all the way from Australia, she came to be
all
here.
The way, just for this. Just
Shazza
for this.
McKenzie. What's up, Shazza?
Hello, how are you?
Awesome. That's been my favorite thing this week, or the last couple of weeks, is like seeing people be like, she came all the way from Australia to be on this show. It's like,
I know. I've got to really add it into my ring intro.
I bet. So you are, I guess that's the joke here, but you are now residing here in America as an American independent wrestler. How has the transition been so far? How long has it been, and how has the transition been so far for you?
We are coming up. Tomorrow will be like 4 weeks that I've been here, which is crazy. That has gone very, very fast.
Wow.
I thought that I would have a license by now, but I digress. I didn't think that was going to take this long.
Yeah.
America.
Here we are. It's been, being in America, it's I've spent a lot of time in America over the last decade or so, and I've done many extended trips in America. So being in America, I'm very okay with I can just I'll Uber myself here, or I know how these things work, I know how this works, blah blah blah. But then trying to live here, and deal with the government is
different.
Is a whole other universe of things that just very simple processes that could just be a lot simpler, and they're let's make it as hard as possible. And maybe I'm just a ditz and I'm making it harder on myself. I don't know, but I do think that maybe the system is broken.
If I were to say so, I'd say yes, as an American.
Yeah.
As an observer from the north, it does sometimes kind of be like living in the apartment above the meth lab.
Yeah, totally. 1,000%.
It's
not far off base at all.
Yeah, but that being said, I think Enterprise Rent-A-Car, even you have a vendetta with them now starting.
I sure do, because I hired a car. I flew back in from was that in Chicago? I flew between Chicago and St. Louis. So I flew in on Saturday, and I'm flying back out on next Saturday for another thing. So I was I need a car to do my driver's test. So I'll just hire a car from the airport, and then I'll just have a car for a week. That'll be nice. I'll treat myself to a car. With the amount of money I spend on Ubers, it's probably about the same, at the end of the day, for a week. So I hired a car, but mainly because I needed to do a driver's test. And I don't have a car to do a driver's test, because to get a car in Missouri, where I live, you have to buy a car. You have to have a Missouri driver's license. To have a Missouri driver's license, I have to do a driver's test. So can't just buy a car. I can't just say, here's the money, please exchange it. No, that would be too simple.
Right.
I just want to exchange my money for goods and services and products, but that's too simple. So I got a car yesterday. The car randomly, after I was finished at the gym, didn't turn on. And I was like, that's great. Love that. Called Enterprise, and they were like, hey, we'll send AAA out. I was like, cool. AAA came out. They jump started the car, and they're like, yeah, you'll be fine now. You don't need to worry about it. The car will be fine. And then the car was fine. Car was fine for 24 hours. And then today I went to do my driver's test, which I got there at 6:30 this morning, because they said they open at 7, but you have to be there extra early because they'll book out. They'll be booked out of people to do the
DMV,
test by
the worst.
Yeah, by 8:39. They're like, if you're any later, because I think I went yesterday and I went at 10, and they're like, nah, mate, it's not happening. I was like, fuck. So go to do my test. They're like, yep, just wait in your car, and the examiner will be out to see you in an hour or something. So I sit in my car for an hour. Literally an hour. This is
wow.
Because
fuck.
Yeah, because I was 7th in the line, despite getting there half an hour. Yeah, it was insane.
Victorious tonight. Oh no! Team action. What in the world, DDT? Who is that? Someone has attacked Shazza McKenzie. What? It's Sean Ross Sapp.
Shot
from Fightful attacking Shazza McKenzie. I know they've had words on social media heading into the squared circle.
What
just
the?
happened?
Hi, Shazza.
Oh my God! Come on! How did you get here, Sean Ross Sapp?
This is bullshit.
Your drive home, Shazza.
Oh my God! What the
I don't
hell,
wanna
Sean
talk
Ross
about it. I
Sapp?
don't wanna
What
talk
are
about it
you
with
doing
you.
here?
Oh my god.
Oh, I just got a bigger pop here than I did that night. That's amazing.
Oh, I don't think my groan of disappointment is a pop. I think
They
that's
were
on-
so shocked they couldn't say anything.
You had them speechless. They were
They
Listen,
were
you guys,
speechless.
You guys set the internet on fire.
We did.
For some reason, Sean Ross Sapp revealed himself, and people were mad. That was the maddest I've seen people in a long time. They didn't want Shazza to get DDT'd by some random jobber named SRS. What the hell happened here? Why did you run in there, Sean Ross Sapp, with the mask on?
Why did you do that?
What was going on here? What was going through your brain?
Okay.
Why do you think you deserve to be in the ring with a superstar like myself?
Okay, that's the point right there.
Okay.
How many people did you see?
Journalist wants to be a wrestler so bad. Wants to be a wrestler. He just wants to.
My coaches trained under Billy fucking Robinson.
Hey.
Billy Robinson.
Okay.
They went and trained with Josh Barnett.
Mm.
You know who asked to be in the ring with me last year? Josh Barnett.
He did. He did. I do know.
He did.
Mm.
He did. And I got these weenies on the internet all the time that are like,
The keyboard warrior.
the keyboard warrior. And you know, me and Shazza are friends. I don't want anybody to pretend that we're not. I like Shazza. But we would make little jokes about, oh, we'll do a match, we'll do a diner fight and all that. And it went from being our joke to being everybody else's joke.
Mhm.
And I'm not cool with that. I'm not okay with that.
Okay.
So after just years out of the ring, I stopped wrestling when I got the job at Fightful. I said, you know what? I can't train anymore, so I don't want to be in the ring consistently. I got to do this job. But I just wanted to prove a little point to Shazza that at any time I can show up and be better than her at the thing that she does every single day of her life.
Oh shit.
Yeesh.
And that's why I took a bunch of
every
pictures of
single
my
day.
ass in the ring.
Ugh. Sean, sweetie, you hit a DDT.
It was a really good one, though.
I was like,
Hey, not for nothing. Gangrel was impressed. I'll say.
yeah,
He
like
was
this.
impressed.
You didn't like fucking main event Wrestle Kingdom here. Let's chill. Let's chill. Like,
Well, I mean, let's be
not
real.
shit.
I got about the same reaction as a lot of people get at Wrestle Kingdom. So
I mean,
that we just had a polite.
I know what
we had
happened.
a-
The sound traveled. That's what happened. The sound was traveling
the
weird.
sound, it was the acoustics in the building were
Gotcha.
like,
You're right.
it's not like it was like
Right.
It was a very
Yeah.
polite Japanese style crowd.
Mm.
They were like, "That was a
Okay.
good DDT." That's
Except
what they
they
did.
were like,
Yeah.
nothing.
DDT.
There was no hands.
They
There
like the
wasn't any
paywall.
hands.
They were more like
One guy was like, Sean Ross Sapp, what are you doing here?
There was one person I heard say Sean Ross Sapp, and at that time I was like, someone recognized me. Thank God, someone.
I've been going to shows for the last year with people with bloody Sean Ross Sapp signs for me. So someone somewhere does know who you are, unfortunately. And it's me. I know who you are, but that's it. No one else. It was, we set the internet on fire, or
Yeah.
not on fire. I don't know. I flew all the way from Australia.
For
You
that.
did. That's the word, is that I took your shine away after you flew
You
all the way
did.
from Australia. And
I know.
that's what was reported on the
audacity.
internet.
Well,
Yeah.
the burning question is, Shazza, are you going to get revenge on Sean Ross Sapp?
Well, obviously, but he's not going to know when. He's not going to know where. He's not going to know how.
Mm.
He doesn't get that insight.
Oh,
There's going to be revenge. There's always revenge.
okay.
I can't wait
He keeps
the
his
day.
schedule pretty publicly known.
He does. He does.
Well, it's weird because people on the internet swear I run from him all the time in public. So.
Yeah, no.
Hey.
But
And this mask messed up my hair. Do you see this?
Well,
I'm just about to
see?
put this thing back on. Give you a little bit of trauma
Oh,
here.
oh,
Shazza.
Wow.
Man, look
I'm
at that. Spawn Ross Sapp.
Oh my
God.
fucking god.
This is
No.
crazy.
Man, I'm 2-0 on you right now, Shazza.
that
Wow.
wasn't what the showing
Because I
up
just
in a
just
book
got
like-
you again. This counts.
Wow, Shazza, can you believe this guy?
What are you? What? Who are you? Are you?
He's throwing
Are you
bows.
well? Are you well?
No, he's on the show with Reg on Saturdays.
Oh no! Are you?
Well,
Oh my
this
God.
guy, he just got
Oh,
all the
shit.
jokes.
Just
right.
speak English or go home, Shazza.
You do not have to put up with this, Shazza.
I know.
swear.
I'm like
Uh.
overheating from the laughter. My face is going red because it's
This
so
is
funny.
Look, she's
ridiculous.
over. She's ready. She's ready.
This guy just keeps running in, unsuspected, getting his shit off, beating his knees, putting elbows. He's breaking. I don't know what the.
Hey,
I just
Oh,
legitimately
no.
knocked over all of my monitors.
that's what's gonna happen to your face, Sean. Right there. That's what's gonna happen to your face.
I
Oh,
just
no.
legitimately
Off
knocked
the
over
rails.
a monitor in my house.
Oh no.
Off the rails. I'm telling you.
I told you that I was gonna get him back. I didn't say how.
Hey,
It was
karma's
a
gonna
reverse
find you.
psychology thing where he got himself.
I'm 2-1.
Karma's gonna find you.
It's
I
what it
swear.
is.
You keep slow walking the dog, karma's gonna find your ass. I'm not talking about Awesome Kong either. Shout out to Awesome Kong.
Oh
He's
no.
just gone.
Uh,
He said, "This is too hard."
last time this picture came up, I got in trouble. So, yeah. So what you're saying is you're going to get revenge on Sean Ross Sapp, and he's not going to know
Of course
when
not.
it is.
I'm not gonna let him
It's a
know.
secret. Because he does, like you said, he has a public schedule. He'd be like, I'm gonna be here at this fan fest, at this convention.
And, you know,
That could be the time.
sometimes I'm at these fan fests and these conventions and
Hmm.
these big wrestling weekends in different cities. Like, there's places.
Huh.
I'm going to pull Sean out of here, and
You're gone,
if he
Sean.
happens to come back,
Jeez.
we'll welcome him back.
Yeah.
Wee.
But otherwise,
He
Wow.
was ruining the carpet.
Crazy. That was
All right.
unsuspected, Shazza. We would never do that. We would never have this running going on without you happening, without
The
you knowing, without
audacity.
your, you know what I'm saying? Sean
The
Ross Sapp
audacity
does
of
what
that
he
man.
does. We're on Fightful, so we just have to kind of roll with the punches, as you can
Yeah,
see, or the elbows that
understand.
he was throwing. So,
yeah, that was big surprise for all of us.
mhm. Yes. Okay, let's get this back on track. Okay.
Yeah, where were we?
You have
Oh,
a
you
driver's
know-
license in America. You can drive now when you do eventually get the license to your bookings. Is that what we're leading to?
When I get
Yeah.
this license, ideally tomorrow.
Yes.
It's
Hey.
gonna be
Cross some fingers.
my 7th time attempting.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Mhm.
Hopefully, and then I will be able to drive for my bookings because I'm in St. Louis, which is a very nice drivable area to
It
a lot of
is.
wrestling.
A lot of good
um,
wrestling in St.
Mhm.
Louis also.
Yes, and promoters can still fly me places if they want to. If
Mhm.
you, I don't know how to wink,
Mm-hmm.
nudge, nudge. Like, it's
You got
okay. I'll take the plane. It's okay.
Right.
But I will be able to drive at some point.
And now, when you're talking about getting flown out to bookings, does this include Canada? Are you available for Canadian bookings as well?
I am available for Canadian bookings.
All
And I
right.
haven't been to Canada, but I do have a one Canada date locked into my calendar currently, and I have
Oh,
a few
sweet.
that are, you know, we're figuring it out
Mhm.
because everyone runs the same date, and it's
Yeah.
which
Because everybody's always running at all times, which is great for all the wrestlers.
It's great because there's so
Yeah.
much work, there's
Right.
so much wrestling to do. But I'm like, come on, guys.
Mhm.
It's always the same day, but it's not always the same day because there's always shows.
So making the transition over here, did you find it as just the wrestling part? Did you find you were going to get bookings easier being closer here to America? Is that part of the reason that played into you coming over here? Was there a scene where you were like, kind of break down what was happening before you got here too?
Yeah, so back in Australia, there's definitely wrestling in Australia.
Yeah.
That's how we've
yeah.
managed to have so many really talented Australian professional wrestlers go on and do, amazing things. Like
Mhm.
Rhea is currently the SmackDown
Women's
like
Champion.
SmackDown, right? Yeah. Like, we've got Bronson Reed's over there. We've got like, there's lots of Australians that have done amazing things because we have a very good scene back home as far as like the quality of talent that we produce in Australia.
Yeah.
We don't have as much like, because wrestling isn't like part of the culture the way it is in America. Like, Raw here airs prime time on a Monday night. Like people sit around and watch it or whatever. If you wanted to watch wrestling in Australia, you had to like go out of your way to watch it. Like Raw airs on Tuesday at noon. So like different. You have to want to watch it if you watch it. Like you're not going to just casually be flicking through the TV and be like, oh, suddenly this is the thing I really want to watch. So there isn't the fan base for wrestling to the same extent. But there's definitely a very good scene there that we'd wrestle maybe like 3-4 times a month, which is fine, but it's not to the
it's different.
Yeah, like you can't pay your bills with that. But the counterpoint of the fact that we were only wrestled 3-4 times a month or whatever is that we had so much more time for training. And that is why it's what I would attribute to why so many of the Australian wrestlers have been so successful, because their fundamentals are so crisp, because we've just spent hours and hours and hours and hours
makes sense
doing the reps, getting that basic stuff down. But then when you come here, there's so much wrestling and it's so chaotic and it's just a completely different universe. And I thrive off the chaos. Like when it's happening, I hate it. And I'm like, what is happening? This is stressful. And there's so many things going on and I have to be here and there. And oh my God, when do I put my makeup on? I couldn't even put makeup on for this. I'm sorry. It's not that I
No, it's okay.
Neither did I. It's fine.
You know what? Like it's one less day that I have to put makeup on today. And that's when you're wrestling and doing that stuff constantly, like doing things like putting on makeup becomes part of work and like part of like a stressful experience. It's not stressful. But it's like I have to do this. But I thrive off that chaos. Like when it's happening, I'm like, I hate this. I'm so tired and it's the worst. But when it's done, I go, oh my God, I love this. And this is
that was great.
Let's do this every day.
Going from 3 to 4 times a month to 3 to 4 times in a weekend over here in America must have been like a big culture shock. As far as like, honestly, in America, it feels like there's wrestling 7 days a week now. Like at some point and somewhere in America, you could get yourself a match if you.
Absolutely. I think so. I did like a month tour in October last year. I was here for 1 month. And I think I did like 15 shows in 19 days or something. Something's absolutely silly.
Yeah.
Like it's something that like halfway through it, I was like, no, this was too much. Because I have overcommitted myself and I regret this. But because every other time I've come over, I've had like, I can be here for 2 months or I can be here for 3 months. I can be here for a month. Like, and I've always had to come in and be like, do as much as you possibly can in a short amount of time. Whereas now, because I'm still trying to do everything that I possibly can, but now I'm like, 2 to 3 shows a week is okay. That's a reasonable amount. I'm not trying to wrestle 5 days a week because I would collapse if I was doing that for like an extended period of time. It's okay for like a couple of months, but like now that I'm here permanently, I'm okay with not doing it as, look, for the right amount of money, I'd absolutely do it. Let's not be crazy.
You are a wrestler, we know.
I am Kanye.
It's all about the pay window. Gotta hit the pay window.
Send the check. I'll get slammed. Yeah, sure.
I'll do it. I like to talk big game, but I'll just do it. Won't I? But yeah, I love it. But it's different, but both scenes have their like advantages, I think, and I'm lucky that I've gotten to experience both. But I've done everything that I could possibly do in Australian wrestling at this point, and I've always wanted to live here. So I just had a midlife crisis. What the hell are you doing back here? Can't even hear you. You can't even think. You
can't even hear him now.
You run a podcast thing and a website, and you can't even figure out how to turn your microphone on.
I've muted Denise. I muted myself. I muted a crowd a couple weeks ago.
True.
I am the great muter.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
The great muter.
I just want to apologize for my outburst, not because I'm ashamed of it, but because I humiliated myself because I punched at Shazza so hard that I completely knocked over all of my monitors. I actually sent you a picture of that, Shazza, but
yeah, well, I didn't check my phone because I was being polite to the podcast that I was doing.
Yeah, Shazza and professionalism, they just go hand in hand, right?
Yes. Yes. I think everyone would say that, Sean.
Huh?
I don't.
Yeah.
It seemed that way. Like, we're about 20 minutes
I'd say I'm pretty professional.
You know my favorite thing about Shazza moving to America, besides nothing at all, absolutely, is the quick acceleration into her becoming an online Karen. She's like, "Hey, Dunkin' Donuts, you got my order wrong."
Guys, I was like, "Oh my
Airlines.
God, I can do this. I can do this now. I see all the wrestlers do it, and now I can do it."
Like
Hey, American Airlines, where's my bag? My Joey's in there.
They just wouldn't give me my bag.
It's the melting pot that is America.
That's what happens when you touch down. You start breathing the air. You're like, you know what? Fuck you.
I deserve something.
Yeah.
I'm an American now.
Every time that I have tweeted something, it has been because someone else that is American has been like, "You should tweet it," and I've gone, "Yeah, you're right."
It works 60% of the time, 100% of the time, I think.
Yeah. I usually try to just like DM them, but if they're like, because usually the blue tick, well, now these days the blue tick doesn't get as much of a response.
Doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything. But it used to mean if a blue tick person started DMing you, you'd suddenly be like, "Whoa, let's fix this problem."
Okay, you guys are beating around the bush. Should we call Black Label Pro to set this one-on-one match?
Yeah, where's Mikey?
Because you guys are just. Are we going to keep playing this game?
Sorry, I'm hearing somebody yelling downstairs for me to come watch Tower Heist. I gotta go.
Tower Heist. Why are you running out of here? Wait, what?
Tower.
Come on. You see, I start talking about a match. He's talking about running
Howard
a
Ross Sapp.
Tower Heist.
The audacity.
It's a great movie.
Where were we again? Oh, here he goes. Oh.
He just in the backstage, just watching us.
At the moment, yeah, basically. He was gone. He came back. You know,
we're gonna have to get in Mikey from Black Label Pro. He'll never come back. We set this match up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Huh?
Then we'll never see him again. He'll be too scared. He'll run away.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you got something to say?
Oh, I thought she was gone. You all told me she was.
Oh man,
can we get this podcast back on track?
I can't remember what we were talking about.
Jeez Louise, we're professionals here. So, all
right,
yes, let's get back on track. You have had some. Let's talk about Black Label Pro because you've had some great showings there. One of our favorite independent wrestling promotions out there. How has it been? Do you think you found a home here in America yet of a promotion? Would you say?
I think I've always had like there's a lot of places that I would consider sort of like my homes and my like go-tos in like different places, like not necessarily like one specific home. But there's always like there's people that every time I plan one of these trips, there's the first people that I message, and Mikey at Black Label Pro is definitely right at the top of that list. Freelance has always been really, really good to me. Absolutely. Action down in Atlanta has been really good to me. Same with TWE in Chattanooga. Glory in St. Louis, always very good to me. Just like there's a lot. I don't want to like not say someone and then I'm like, but like, you know, there's a lot of places that have always been very, very good to me and welcomed me and like I was part of the family. So I'm very blessed to have that. And it's all because I'm very professional.
Exactly. Some people.
You're getting you're getting some regular Mondays in too at uncharted territory on your last trip here. Speaking of the trip, because you did the life of while you were here for that stint. So I got kind of two questions about it. One, I noticed that it came out around about the time that you announced that you're moving here. Was how long did you have your move here actually in stone? Like,
I announced it the day I got my visa in my hand.
Mhm.
nice.
Mhm.
I said, okay, my visa is in my hand. Okay. The process of getting the visa started probably about a day or two after the filming of Life of ended.
Mhm.
Holy shit!
But
That was
It was
that
about
was like
9 months or
May.
so.
That was like May.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a very long time. It's a very long
Yeah.
process. It was a very expensive process.
Yeah.
Very insane. The logistics of what I have done, if you like take a step back and is like I'm literally insane. Like it is dumb, very dumb. Like, but also whatever. Like, could die tomorrow. So
Yes.
I don't know. Like moving across the world to pursue your passion is that's some like many people would discuss or say I'd love to actually do that, but like so pulling the trigger on it is very admirable. I'd
Big
say.
deal. Big deal.
yeah,
Mhm.
big insane deal.
So kind of jumping back to the trip here last year, you know, you were talking about how you like the chaos of cramming everything into like this nice little trip, but what's the feeling now knowing that there's not really like a, oh, in 3 months I'm out of here kind of thing happening?
Well, it's like it still feels as chaotic as like it still has like it hasn't felt less chaotic yet. I haven't felt like I've had time to like I don't know even go like see stuff like everyone's like, oh, have you done this in St. Louis yet? And I'm like, no, like I'm literally just trying to like do like life things still. Like I want to be able to like have some time where I'm like down and I just go, oh, I want to go see the giant arch that's in St. Louis. Like I should probably see that at some point. I want to go do that. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm also like, oh, well, I've got all time, but I don't have all the time because time is fickle or something. I don't know. Time isn't real. I don't know what I'm saying, but something like that.
You're on the money.
But yeah, like it's still chaotic. It still feels very chaotic. I'm waiting for it to like not, but I think maybe that'll take until like, I don't know, 6 months down the track. Then I'll be like, oh, I'm just at home. But right now I'm still like, what am I doing every day? Oh no, stuff all the time. I also think once I have my own car and I have like the freedom of just being like, it's such a, like, I don't want to keep going back to the car, but like, it's such a weird thing to go from like, I had a car back home for 15 years. If I wanted to go to the grocery store, I just got in a car. I just went. Now I have to be like, do I want to walk 20 minutes? Do I really want that thing that much? What else could I get in this one trip so I only have to leave my house in this little journey that I'm going on one time? Like it's just, or is it an Uber? Do I want to spend that much on an Uber to do this thing? Like, just want a car.
Makes life easier for sure.
Yeah. You know, the car's been a bit of a hindrance for you, but and you know, between that and you know getting DDT'd by our boss, we talked about some L's. What are some victories? Since being over here, you have, you know, small victories, stuff you've already accomplished in the ring that like since you've been back here, because you've been back here for a month and you know already definitely had some matches. I picked a bad day to wear a Tony Deppen shirt.
Yep. Too soon.
Literally days, man, days. The audacity. It's like being able to like come here. I think like the first weekend I did like a loop with Steph DeLanda was on like the same loop as me, and that was like the best thing ever because it's like one of my best friends, and I was like, holy shit, we're just like living in America doing that thing that we talked about for like 5 years ago.
Love it.
Just but on our own and like without like we've just taken control of the narrative of it all and like we're thriving, so like fuck the world kind of thing. And that was just like the best feeling, like getting to do like that's like a personal personal little win.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, look at us go.
Came a long way.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then like the first week I was here, I did like Ring of Honor, which was
Yes.
like it's hard to like explain this. So basically, every time I come over here previously, I was legally not supposed to work on TV, you know?
Okay.
And so the whole reason that I went out of my way and spent the obscene amount of money is because there was no, without a company signing me and paying for my visa and like and sponsoring my visa, there was no end goal. Like I could just go around in circles of going over here and doing like a really good indie run for like 3 months, but then I'd have to go home and I wouldn't be. There was a ceiling. I was never going to be able to simply even be an extra on TV, which is like something that people over here take so much for granted that they can even sit in catering and eat food.
That's true.
I would like there's people in other countries would fucking kill for that. But it's not, I get it. Like it's like, I get why it's like people don't love it or whatever. But like just to be able to get the email to come and do extras work was like this, like so stupid. It's like, cause it's such as, I know it's such a silly thing to everyone else, but like, that was like, okay, the reason I did all of this made sense. Like because the whole reason was that there was a ceiling that I was never, ever going to be able to break unless I had this visa. So to be able to sort that shit out myself and make it happen myself was like, I was like, okay, and then I just got like a proper match with Miyu. So like, I was like,
come on.
I was happy just going to catering. I was like, oh yeah, this is all I wanted, guys. I just wanted to be able to eat catering. But then they were like, hey, just go wrestle on the show. I was like, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's not stupid at all. You bet on yourself, and the thing that you bet on yourself doing, you did it. That's amazing. That's awesome. And that's a lesson for all those wrestlers out there who probably feel like what you're saying. Even here in America, they're stuck in this like never be able to kind of get that momentum to keep going. You know what I mean? Like you get a little bit of momentum, but to keep the momentum going is really the hardest part with so many wrestlers, so many promotions, so many streaming services going on. You know what I mean? There's so many everything. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's a lot. But you just have to block out the noise. I'm going to turn into like motivational speaking. You got to block out the noise and like focus on yourself and your journey, and you've also got to enjoy the journey. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then like you can't be so tunnel visioned on what the end goal is, like the end goal of like wanting to be rich and famous and make millions of dollars and be the main event of WrestleMania. Like it's a very good end goal, but you've got to enjoy the little baby steps along the way and like work towards little goals and little, like you just have to enjoy the actual journey. Because when you get so tunnel visioned on something, especially in wrestling, like an end goal that at the end of the day, everything in professional wrestling can sit, like your success can literally come down to whether or not one person in a room likes you or not.
Yeah.
Like it's not like everything we do is so subjective. Yep. And if you're going to be like, oh my God, like I'm not doing this enough, I'm not doing that enough, I'm like this is like, you're just going to drive yourself insane. So you just got to enjoy what you're doing and try to work and get better while you're doing it, but enjoy what you're doing, man, because you only got one life and you don't want to spend it stressed out because someone said your Irish whip was shit. Like, it's just,
a lot of people's Irish whips are shit. It's
fine. Like fucking get over it.
I want to, since my co-host partner here, Mike, brought up his T-shirt and Tony Deppen, I want to talk a little bit about intergender wrestling. It could be at least, taboo to some people. You get to work on both sides of the coin because you get to work women's wrestlers, you get to work men's wrestlers, you get to work non-binary wrestlers, everybody on the spectrum. Whoever wants to get it, Shazza's going to get in there and give it to you. Does that make life as a wrestler easier for you? One, and two, did you make a conscious effort to do it, or was it just like, I'll work anybody, I don't care about any of it?
So I think my a lot of the girls that I like. I'm trying to say. So I've been wrestling for nearly 15 years at this point. So when I started, it was very much divas matches, and there was maybe 5 girls in all of Australia, and I just wrestled the same 5 girls over and 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 over again, which is great because they were my best friends.
Yep.
But the girls these days are so much better at professional wrestling because they're not limited to because we train with the guys. It's all the same when we train, but there is this level of wrestling that you learn when you're out there performing. And if you're never given the opportunity to perform with someone that is more experienced than you and knows that can guide you and help you and teach you in the ring, and you learn stuff from working with people the same experience level as you, and you learn stuff from working with people with less experience than you because you learn how to lead and everything like that. But there is just so much information that I'd say the first 7 or 8 years of my career, because intergender wrestling was not a thing. I think my first singles intergender match would have been in 2016. So probably
still pretty new.
Yeah, it's very new. It was very new that it's been very wildly accepted. But my growth as a professional wrestler, from when I've had not been pigeonholed to be able to wrestle these 10 people you can wrestle, or you can wrestle hundreds of people. Look at this amount of knowledge and experience that you could actually learn from and get better from. But no, we're gonna handicap you with only being allowed to work this, which is the only people when people are against intergender wrestling, and I am against the term intergender wrestling because it is just wrestlers.
Yeah.
Just wrestling,
Just wrestlers.
But for this conversation, the people that are against it, the only people that not allowing intergender wrestling to happen harms or or the only careers that it hinders are the girls, because you're limiting their knowledge and their experience and their ability to grow as a performer. And not every girl is going to want to do it, and that's fine. And no one should be ever be forced to wrestle anyone that they don't want to wrestle. There are girls I probably don't want to wrestle, let alone guys I don't want to wrestle. So it's the same rules apply for all wrestling. You should never ever take on a match or be in the ring with someone that you're not comfortable being in the ring with. But that doesn't, gender in that situation doesn't matter. That's just a general. You should just not and people should be understanding and helpful, and there should be no one should ever be put in a position where they're not comfortable with who they're in the ring with. But yeah, that's I didn't make a conscious decision to be an intergender wrestler or whatever, to wrestle more guys, but every time I'm so appreciative of every time that I get treated like a wrestler, and not the girls match on the card. It's the way that we're that I get perceived by not just the people in the back, but the fans, the way it's all about the way you present people to the crowd as well. If you present women as a weaker and more inferior performer or wrestler or whatever, then they're gonna come off that way. But if you don't, if you present them as strong and tough and you present every other professional wrestler, there's never going to be that issue, because you are the ones that get to set the tone of how people are presented, the people running the show and the people in the matches and everything like that. And yeah, I don't know. That was a ramble, but I heard.
No, it was good. It's writers tell the story. It's just like the Cody Rhodes thing. It's well, where's it going to go? The writers are going to write the story to where it's going to go. That's what they're there for, right? That's how this works.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on the uselessness of the term.
Yeah,
intergender wrestling, because in 2023, especially with the fluidity of the gender spectrum, there's just no need for division. And again, people who don't exclusively identify as any gender, what? So who the fuck do they wrestle? But so that being said, what a great time to jump into I wanted to talk about a promotion you did wrestle for in the U.S. quite a great deal. You were also, I believe, their champion, the Heart of Shimmer champion. Not just the Heart of Shimmer champion, but in my research, found out that you have the most successful title defenses during your reign of any Heart of Shimmer champion.
Wow.
What a good guy.
So what did being a part of a promotion like Shimmer, like, do you see the kind of like ripple effect now when you're seeing the younger girls that are coming up in wrestling now, like in a post Shimmer existence, where you can see maybe some kind of like ripple effect of, you know, what Shimmer accomplished?
Absolutely. I think Shimmer is so important to the history of professional wrestling, especially in America. And so many of the alumni of Shimmer have gone on to be some of the most successful wrestlers in all of the world, like Bailey and Becky Lynch and Saraya and like Tony, like all, like Ruby Riott, like it's crazy, like the amount of talent. And then also like the coaches, like we got Sarah Stock, Del Rey, like Madison Rain, like these people, everyone sort of everyone in that sort of generation came through Shimmer. And that was like, it was such a rite of passage. Like I remember before I started wrestling, I think I was like starting training, or I was about to start. I was a big wrestling nerd.
Yes.
Shock. I used to purchase the DVDs on the internet and then wait freaking months for them to arrive. But I have I don't have them with me here because I didn't bring my Shimmer DVDs with me to America when I was packing up my life. I thought these ones can stay at home. But like I used to watch Shimmer, and like before I'd even started training, like from 2005, 2006, or whatever. And I started training in 2007. And I remember when the first Australians that got into Shimmer were Madison Eagles and Jessie McKay. And it was such a huge, like, it was huge. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're in Shimmer. And then like this like continuous like train of girls from Australia managed to like go through the Shimmer system and then go on to be successful in their own way. And I think like the Shimmer did so much for women in professional wrestling and us being taken seriously. Especially like in that day and age. Like I remember, this is like I was saying, like I've been wrestling for a very long time. And so in that day and age, I was wrestling, the same 5 girls back home. We'll be given 6 minutes, go have your Divas match. When then I would come over to America and they'd be like, all right, you got 15 minutes, go hard. And it was like, oh my God, like I'm a wrestler. What? Like I get to actually wrestle, like all this stuff that we do at training all the time. Like, but then for some reason, as soon as I get on a show, it's put your skirt on, so I think Shimmer is so important. And like we wouldn't have this women's evolution or revolution or whatever it is that we had in 2015, whatever, wouldn't that whole thing just wouldn't have existed if Shimmer hadn't started. And I know you can go back further than that, but it's like, if Shimmer didn't happen, then you don't get the knockouts and you don't get the Shimmer, like the women's revolution. You don't get all these things in American women's wrestling. That it's very, very important. And shout out to Dave Prazak, who is just amazing. And I will always, like, I owe so much. Like he had no reason to give me the opportunity. I'm just some weird girl from Australia that's always in his face doing this. He'll get that. But like, I'm not like, there was no reason that he had to put a belt on me or like give me main events or any of these things, like these opportunities that no one else was giving me in 2015, 2016. Like, so I'm very, very, very thankful for everything at Shimmer. And Dave should bring it back if you're watching this, Dave.
Totally, Dave. I think there's a market. There's so many great women's wrestlers out there now. It's actually kind of crazy. Like what you're saying, when you were coming in, there was just this many. Now it's like when someone's like, could you tell me a great women's wrestler? Now I'm like, how much time do you got? Because where do I start? Like there's so many, the market is great for women's wrestling, and shout out to like Women's Wrestling Army and Mission Pro for doing things in the same vein as that and continuing on that legacy that Shimmer has created. So Shazza, let's talk about some goals and aspirations. You're here in America. We talked about some TV wrestling. We talked about some extra work. What's on the horizon? You want to be at WrestleMania? You want to wrestle Rhea for the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania 40? Or what's going on here?
Look, that sounds really fun.
No, that's super fast. I'm just
that sounds really fun. Also sounds very stressful.
It sounds scary, doesn't it?
Sounds like it would cause me an anxiety attack. Yeah, right. So it sounds like maybe too much. Maybe no.
Yes.
I genuinely just want to enjoy what I'm doing. I've been wrestling for a really long time. Shockingly, I'm quite old when it comes to females in this industry. Which I am, like, realistically speaking. So I know I don't have another 10, 15 years in me. So I'm just trying to make sure that I have as much fun as I can and do as much as I can, and my big goal, this is the thing I've always said, is that I want to be, so when everyone writes those lists of who they want to wrestle, I want to be on those lists. I want to be someone that everyone wants to work with. I want people to want me around and I want to be wanted. With some trauma or something. But I want to be someone that people are like, if a match gets announced, they're excited that they get to wrestle me. That's oh my God, hell yeah. That's what I want to be on the list. I want to be the person people want to work with.
That's dope. I like it. I'm into it.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, we got it. So, we got, we've laid out your plan for what you want to do while you're here. We've talked about your past accomplishments. We've talked about some of the shit you've been up to since you've been here in America, the good and the bad. Before we wrap it up, is there anything you want to shout out? Is there anything you want to promote? Anything you want to put over? Tell us. Let us know.
Please sign up to my OnlyFans.
Boom. Bam.
Literally, that is what pays the bills.
Yes.
So
there you go.
I legally cannot get an office job. Otherwise, I would, but they won't let me. So please.
OnlyFans.
Please. I give good content. I think. I hope. I don't know. No complaints so far.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's the perfect plug.
Yeah.
All right. Book Shazza, find her on Twitter. It's right under her name on the sidebar there. Reg, what about yourself, my man?
You can find me at Righteous Reg on all your favorite places. Every Saturday, I'm on Grapsity Podcast. Tomorrow or today or whenever this airs, you could find me on the ROH Post Show. The ROH show is supposed to be pretty nuts on Thursday. So yeah, and then every Wednesday you can find me on Indeed, Fightful Overbooked with Mike, talking independent wrestling, the best wrestling there is in the world.
Absolutely. And, same for me. Twitter's right there. I'm here every Wednesday. I don't do anything else. I have too much shit to do out away from here. So want to thank you again for joining us, Shazza, coming all the way from Australia to talk to us. It means a lot.
Blessed.
it means a lot. You found an Airbnb in America just to talk to us.
That's what I do.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.